In a world where space comes at a premium and our souls crave connection to something timeless, the romantic English cottage aesthetic offers a gentle rebellion against stark minimalism. There's something deeply soothing about walking into a space that whispers stories of afternoon tea, handwritten letters, and gardens blooming just beyond lace-curtained windows. This isn't merely about decorating. It's about creating a sanctuary where every carefully chosen detail serves both beauty and the heart's need for comfort.
Welcome to Rustic Elegance. Let's embark on a journey through the beauty of rustic decor, celebrating the warmth, simplicity, and natural charm of this timeless design.
Romantic English cottage interiors. Tiny home styling with vintage elegance. The magic of English cottage interiors lies not in their size, but in their ability to make any space feel like a cherished retreat. Whether you're working with a tiny home, a studio apartment, or simply a corner that needs more soul, this approach to design transforms limitations into opportunities for intimacy. The vintage elegance of cottage styling teaches us that luxury isn't measured in square footage, but in the quality of moments we create within our walls. What makes this design philosophy particularly powerful in small spaces is its emphasis on layered storytelling over grand gestures. Every weathered wooden beam, every piece of transferware china, every soft throw drape just so contributes to a narrative that feels both personal and timelessly romantic. It's an invitation to slow down, to notice beauty in the everyday, and to create a home that nurtures both body and spirit in the most authentic way possible. One, cozy corners, creating intimate spaces in tiny homes. How to transform small spaces into cozy English cottage retreats. Even the tiniest corner can become the heart of your home when styled with romantic English cottage interiors. The secret lies in understanding that small doesn't mean sparse. It means selective and intentional. By using soft pastels like cream, sage, and dusty rose, paired with floral fabrics and warm lighting, you can create a space that feels cozy and welcoming rather than cramped. A reading nook with a vintage armchair, a small side table holding a collection of well-loved books, and a soft throw creates an instant retreat. These details bring vintage elegance without overwhelming the space, giving every nook its own charming purpose and making your tiny home feel like a collection of intimate moments waiting to be discovered. Essential texture layering tips for vintage cottage-style interiors. The art of creating cottage charm in small spaces lies in the thoughtful layering of textures that speak to both comfort and history. Adding layers of linen throws in muted tones, delicate lace curtains that filter light softly, and natural wood accents brings remarkable depth and warmth to your small home. Consider a window seat adorned with mixed vintage cushions, some in faded florals, others in simple stripes, topped with a chunky knit throw. These classic touches evoke the timeless charm of English cottages while keeping the design light and airy. With thoughtful layering, your tiny home feels curated rather than cluttered, intimate rather than cramped, and effortlessly romantic in its ability to tell a story through touch and texture. Vintage cottage decor ideas, personal touches for tiny home charm. The difference between a house and a home often lies in the personal details that reflect your unique story and passions. Small decorative pieces like vintage teacups displayed on floating shelves, antique books stacked with care, or pressed floral frames created from garden walks add a deeply personal touch to your cozy spaces. These might include a collection of vintage postcards arranged in a shadow box, a small ceramic pitcher filled with dried lavender from your garden, or a weathered wooden box that holds your grandmother's jewelry. These subtle accents make your home feel uniquely yours while staying true to the romantic vintage vibe. It's these carefully chosen details that transform a simple corner into a cherished retreat, a place where memories are made and stories continue to unfold. Two, timeless palettes, soft colors for a romantic cottage feel. Best cottage color schemes, soft pastels for small space design. Choosing the right colors is perhaps the most crucial element in creating vintage elegance within tiny homes, as color has the unique power to expand space while establishing emotional atmosphere. Soft creams reminiscent of fresh butter, blush pinks like English roses at dawn, sage greens that echo cottage gardens, and powder blues reflecting cloudy skies work together to open up small spaces while maintaining that essential calming, romantic feel. These aren't the bold pastels of modern design, but rather the faded, sun-washed versions that speak of years of gentle living. When applied to walls, these shades create a backdrop that makes every room feel larger and more inviting, while their timeless quality ensures your cottage aesthetic never feels dated or trendy, just beautifully, authentically lived in. How to mix neutral paint colors with natural wood in cottage interiors. The sophisticated beauty of English cottage interiors comes from understanding how to pair neutral backgrounds with the organic richness of natural elements. Think warm white or cream walls that provide breathing room, paired with the honey tones of reclaimed wood beams or the silvered patina of aged furniture. This combination ensures your home feels spacious yet warm, elegant without being overwhelming to your small interior. Consider how a soft gray painted dresser looks against cream walls, or how natural linen curtains frame a window with weathered wooden sills. The result is a gentle, sophisticated palette that feels effortlessly refined, never trying too hard, but always succeeding in creating that perfect balance between serenity and warmth that makes a house feel like a true sanctuary. Cottage-style color accents, adding personality to small rooms. While your base palette provides the serene foundation, it's the carefully chosen accent colors that breathe life and personality into your cottage-inspired space. Introduce accent pieces in deeper, more complex tones like olive green reminiscent of English countryside herbs, vintage rose that echoes antique chintz, or the soft gray blue of a weathered garden gate. Whether expressed through a hand-painted cushion, a vintage quilt draped over a chair, or a carefully restored side table, these small pops of color enhance your cottage charm while adding visual depth. The key is restraint. One or two deeper tones used consistently throughout your space create cohesion and sophistication. It's a simple yet effective way to make your interiors feel romantic and lively, while maintaining the peaceful foundation that makes small spaces feel like havens. Three, vintage furnishings, styling tiny homes with character. Best vintage furniture for small homes, space-saving cottage pieces. Vintage furniture adds instant character to a small home, and leaning into English cottage-inspired pieces brings both warmth and romance into your space in ways that new furniture simply cannot achieve. Look for compact treasures that tell stories. Spindle-back chairs with worn paint that speaks of countless family dinners, petite painted dressers that once held a grandmother's linens, or weathered wood tables scarred by years of use and love. These pieces often feature the gentle curves, hand-painted details, or time-worn finishes that are hallmarks of authentic cottage style. Each scratch, each faded paint mark, each gentle warp in the wood tells a story of real life lived beautifully. These charming additions combine function and storytelling, filling your tiny home with a sense of history and cozy appeal that makes every day feel connected to something larger than itself. Modern meets vintage. How to mix old and new furniture in small spaces. The key to successfully incorporating vintage pieces into modern tiny living lies in thoughtful balance, honoring the past while embracing the practical needs of contemporary life. A classic farmhouse table with its gentle patina and solid construction pairs beautifully with sleek woven storage baskets that hide modern necessities, while a vintage vanity with its romantic curves can be topped with contemporary LED lighting that provides the brightness needed for daily routines. This mixing allows you to enjoy the soul-warming charm of vintage pieces without sacrificing the functionality that small space living demands. Consider how a vintage hutch can house modern dishes, or how antique textile pieces can be layered with high-performance fabrics that stand up to daily use. This approach keeps your interiors feeling fresh and practical, while maintaining that essential cottage romance. Vintage display ideas. How to style antiques in small cottage homes. In small spaces, every display must work harder to justify its presence, which makes the curation of your vintage treasures both an art and a practical necessity. Display your favorite antiques or thrifted treasures in thoughtful vignettes that avoid clutter while maximizing visual impact. Group similar items by color, material, or era to create cohesion. Perhaps a collection of cream-colored ironstone on open shelving, or a gathering of small wooden boxes that each holds treasured keepsakes. Use the vertical space on walls for hanging vintage platters or framed botanical prints, and choose surfaces wisely for your most meaningful pieces. Each item should feel intentional rather than accidental, selected not just for its beauty, but for its ability to contribute to the overall story your home tells. This approach ensures that your vintage pieces enhance rather than overwhelm your small space. Four, romantic details, accents that elevate every room. English cottage decor essentials, romantic details for small spaces. The soul of romantic English cottage interiors lies in the accumulation of meaningful details that transform a house into a personal narrative written in fabric, wood, and treasured objects. Items like hand-embroidered cushions that perhaps came from a favorite grandmother, delicate lace table runners that catch afternoon light just so, or framed botanical prints collected during countryside walks add layers of character and personality to small spaces. These aren't random decorative choices, but carefully selected pieces that reflect your interests, travels, and connections to family history. A vintage sewing basket repurposed as storage, antique books stacked with care, or a collection of transferware plates displayed on a narrow shelf. Each element contributes to creating a warm and nostalgic atmosphere that makes your home feel timeless, inviting, and deeply personal. In tiny spaces, every detail matters more. So choose pieces that truly speak to your heart. Cottage lighting ideas, creating cozy ambience in tiny homes. Light has the remarkable ability to transform both the perceived size and emotional temperature of a space, making it particularly crucial in tiny homes seeking that romantic cottage atmosphere. Use a thoughtful mix of soft ambient lighting, vintage-style sconces with fabric shades, and table lamps with bases that echo your cottage aesthetic to create layers of gentle illumination. Avoid harsh overhead lighting in favor of multiple soft sources, perhaps a reading lamp with a linen shade beside your favorite chair, candlesticks on the mantle, and string lights with warm-toned bulbs draped along a bookshelf. This approach adds intimacy to small rooms while enhancing the romantic and vintage feel that makes cottage interiors so appealing. The result is a space that feels calm and welcoming from morning to night, where harsh edges are softened and every corner feels inviting and warm. Fresh flower arrangements for cottage style, small space decorating tips. No English cottage interior feels complete without the presence of nature brought indoors, and in small spaces, this becomes both a decorative opportunity and a way to connect with the changing seasons. Fresh flowers gathered from even the smallest garden, or carefully chosen blooms from the market, arranged in vintage pitchers, mason jars, or simple glass vessels bring natural elegance to every room without demanding precious square footage. Consider dried lavender in old medicine bottles, pussy willows in a ceramic crock, or seasonal branches arranged in a weathered galvanized bucket. These natural elements add color, texture, and life to your interiors while reinforcing the connection to the English countryside that cottage style celebrates. The beauty lies in the imperfection, slightly wild arrangements that look gathered rather than purchased, creating that authentic cottage feel that makes your home feel lively and beautifully curated throughout the changing year. Five, outdoor charm, extending cottage style beyond the walls. Small cottage garden ideas, creating outdoor rooms in tiny spaces. The magic of English cottage living has always extended beyond interior walls to embrace the outdoors as an essential part of home, and this philosophy becomes particularly valuable when working with limited indoor space. Transform even the tiniest outdoor area, whether it's a small patio, balcony, or corner of yard, into a serene retreat that feels like a natural extension of your cottage interior. A bistro table paired with mismatched vintage chairs, Large pots filled with herbs and cottage garden flowers, and weather-resistant cushions in soft florals or stripes create an instant outdoor room. Add a cozy throw for cool evenings, perhaps in a basket tucked beside the seating area, and suddenly your tiny space feels exponentially larger. This outdoor extension provides a place for morning coffee, evening reflection, or simply watching the world go by. Activities that are essential to the cottage lifestyle's emphasis on savoring simple pleasures. Vintage garden decor, extending cottage style to outdoor areas. Creating seamless flow between your cottage interior and outdoor spaces requires extending your carefully curated aesthetic beyond your walls, using elements that can weather the seasons while maintaining their romantic charm. Incorporate weather planters in galvanized metal or aged terracotta, rustic lanterns that can hold candles or battery-operated lights, and wrought iron accents like plant stands or decorative wall pieces that develop beautiful patina over time. Old wooden crates can serve as storage for garden tools and supplies, while vintage watering cans become both functional tools and decorative elements. These pieces tie your interior style to your garden or patio space, making your entire home feel cohesive and thoughtfully designed. The key is choosing items that look better with age, pieces that develop character through weathering rather than deteriorating, maintaining that essential cottage aesthetic of beautiful imperfection. Seasonal cottage decor, year-round outdoor styling ideas for small gardens. One of the most delightful aspects of cottage-style outdoor living is the opportunity to celebrate each season with simple changes that keep your space feeling fresh and connected to nature's rhythms. Switch out cushions and throws to reflect the changing seasons, perhaps lighter linens and florals for spring and summer, transitioning to warmer plaids and deeper colors for autumn and winter. Update planters with seasonal flowers and foliage, from spring bulbs and summer cottage garden favorites to autumn mums and winter evergreens. Small decorative touches like seasonal wreaths, different arrangements of gathered branches, or holiday-appropriate lighting can transform your outdoor space throughout the year. These updates maintain the romantic, vintage elegance of your home while making every season feel special and celebrated. An approach that ensures your tiny cottage-style home never feels static, but instead evolves beautifully with the natural world around it. Conclusion. The journey of creating romantic English cottage interiors in small spaces is ultimately about choosing beauty over size, story over simplicity, and heart over trends. Every vintage teacup, every soft throw, every carefully tended plant becomes part of a larger narrative about what makes a house feel like home. In our fast-paced world, these spaces offer something increasingly precious: the permission to slow down, to notice beauty in small moments, and to surround ourselves with objects that speak to our souls rather than simply fill space. The true magic of this approach lies not in following rules, but in understanding principles that can be adapted to any space, any budget, and any lifestyle. Whether you're working with a tiny house on wheels, a studio apartment in the city, or simply a corner that needs more warmth, the cottage aesthetic teaches us that luxury isn't about having more. It's about choosing better, caring deeper, and creating spaces that nurture both body and spirit. As you begin or continue your own cottage-style journey, remember that the most beautiful homes are those that reflect their inhabitants' true selves. Let your space tell your story through the colors that make you smile, the textures that invite touch, and the details that spark joy every time you walk through your door. In the end, the most romantic thing about any home isn't its size or its perfection. It's the love and intention with which it's created, one thoughtful detail at a time.